You may be a doctor and eventually you can become a rock star. One fine day you get up and you're a rock star. But I think it takes time. It may take years. I mean, I started at 38, but this is where my heart lies. This is something that really attracted me, and I'm doing so much in this field. So you never know. It may take years or it may take a couple of weeks.
Sonali Swami's life has been crazy. She comes from an orthodox family and she's a wife and a mother of two. She got into bodybuilding in her late 30s and then soon started participating in competitions. She then went on to represent the country and then even procure the bronze medal at the Asians Championship. That's just ridiculous. If you talk about trajectory, nothing can really beat what she's been through in the last decade or so. And she's not done yet. No plans to stop anytime soon. And you can hear it in her conversation too, how she's still driven to get back there and compete and wear those Indian colors and, just represent the country. So she's working at it. If you've been following her on Instagram, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Her dedication literally seeps through each and every post and each and every story she puts out. So what an inspiration she truly is. At one point, I remember while we were recording this conversation, my wife, who's also here during my shoots, had tears in her eyes, and she spoke to Sonali about that post recording as well. So get ready to be moved when you listen to this conversation. Well, in this one, we talk about how every good thing takes time. You need to have patience and really persevere. How you can really find passion while you persevere. And how it's never too late to do anything with your life. And she, again, is a true walking, living testament to all of that. And she still says that if I were to get started right now, I would do it. So there are a lot of people who are stuck in their 40s and 50s who just don't know where to get started or whether they should even get started. But what I can tell you is that listening to Sonali talk about her life, I think it really drives the message home. So anyone who has second thoughts or doubts, man, she completely blows those out the front door and she'll get you to really act on whatever your dreams are. So and also we talk about how you can get to enjoy things that might be otherwise a little difficult for you or tough for you. So for instance, it's very difficult to keep on a healthy diet and then stay off carbs and sugar and whatnot. But she talks about how it's not just easy, but it's just a matter of getting into that routine. So stay tuned for that. And finally, something she learned the hard way: no matter what you do, people will end up judging you. So why not do what you want to do with your life and not really give a shit, right? So this episode's just incredible. It's awesome that I was able to get Sonali as the first guest in our new studio, talking about new stuff. This episode's audio is brought to you by Sennheiser. Our show Against the Odds now has a partner in audio with Sennheiser, which is just incredible. And also, this episode's shot and recorded at Open Jam Studios. More on both of these a little later in the episode. Cool then. I think let's get right into the conversation then. This is episode 40 with Sonali Swami. This is Against the Odds, and I'm your host, Akash Damodaran. This show is all about inspiring people to take the unconventional path and lead a life that is truly fulfilling and rewarding. Watch and listen as talented individuals take us through their learnings, the challenges they face, and how they continuously adapt to overcome them. Let's anyway start things off. You're the first guest here. How do you like the space?
Oh my God, this is amazing. I love it. Absolutely love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope you're at ease and you're comfortable.
Yes. Thank you so much for making me feel comfortable.
That's awesome. So let's get right into a topic I think that we both spoke about at length over the call,
right.
Which is how everyone has insecurities and everyone has issues,
Yeah.
but the tenet is that you have to get past it, right? That
Absolutely.
is, how do you get to that is the question that everyone's directly or indirectly trying to solve.
Right.
If you think about it, right?
Right.
So you have had your fair share of insecurities. You have had your fair share of issues back when you were
Oh,
growing
yes.
up, like you said.
Yes.
And yeah, but what have you seen that works with, especially maybe if you want to talk about people who are maybe relatively young teenagers or young adults, and then you also can talk about, once you're past the age where you're like, I don't really give a shit about what I need to do with my life because I'm way past, like my
Right.
40s, so what do I need to do?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think you can talk about both of these. I'd like you to really go into depth about how can you get past insecurities and where do all these insecurities come from?
Akash, I feel I did not have the confidence in me. I had this low self-esteem. I had these major issues when it came to, body positivity. I mean, I did not even know this word existed. I would always compare myself to my friends, or I've thought I was just an average kid. Although my parents did not make me feel that way.
Right.
Parents love their children, right? So I would compare myself to my friends, and like I said, that I was an average student. And then I just felt that I'm not fair enough, I'm not good enough. I was slightly bigger than the other kids, and I was taller than the other kids. So I just felt that I did not fit in, and somehow you just try to fit in. But I think what changed over the period of time is, if you're good at something and you just keep getting better and better and better, it it just it just helps you in the sense that you get this confidence that I'm good at something. This is what I'm good at. Once I started lifting weights, I felt confident. I just felt that I had the power to, reach out to other women. Like I said, I had when we had the conversation, when I won my competition, the first competition, and the amount of messages that I received from women, and the first thing that they said, that you have opened the doors for us, that it's possible for a married woman, that it's possible for a mother to transform her body, transform her life, in fact. Once you look at yourself and you feel that, you're looking good, you automatically feel good.
Yeah.
You don't want to look yourself, especially after having a baby. You just don't want to stand in front of the mirror, because
Yeah.
you just feel that you're not that person anymore. You're somebody else, and your life is all about your kid, and everybody is more worried about the child. And people hardly want to talk to you now. For someone who, for the 9 months, everybody was, after you, everybody's taking care of you, everybody's asking you whether you want this, you want that, how are you feeling. And suddenly, once the baby is out, the attention diverts. So it really helps if the confidence is there once you get better at something. So you have to find what works for you. You have to find your passion. You have to find the stuff that you enjoy, that you love, pursue it, and get better every single day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that would really help you.
Yeah.
So I feel, for me, everything happened when I finally decided to pursue my passion. That was lifting weights and ultimately becoming an athlete and competing for the country.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm only getting better.
Yeah.
So that has given me the confidence, and the fact that I know I am, in some way or the other, touching lives. And especially women who think that it's too late, or it's not going to happen for them, or it's just not for them.
Yeah, yeah.
So that really helped. So I think when you're young, you don't have the experience, you haven't seen the world, and you do not know what's in store for you.
Yeah.
You just feel that it's going to be difficult, or you're not going to make it. But I think over the period of time, you learn, and you evolve.
Yeah, so true. And I think this whole comparison mentality, right, where we are constantly looking at our neighbors, or our friends, or our
friends,
first,
yeah,
second,
yeah.
third connects.
Right.
There's this thing playing in the back of our mind that either we need to live up to what this person has showcased on social media, or something that we are constantly talking about what the media itself is selling you.
Right.
And that becomes the norm, and because
Yeah.
of that, we just decide to give up even before we get started.
Right.
And I think this whole comparison thing is not going to go anywhere, because I think we have all been, I've spoken about this time and again on the show too, where we're societal beings, right? We're constantly looking at
Right.
each other, and
Absolutely.
we all want to, we have that feeling of belonging.
Yeah.
Right, so the more we try to stand out, the more we feel like like an outlier, which right now, if you think about it, outlier is a word that 100 years ago had a weird negative connotation.
True.
Now outlier is like, man, that guy's an outlier. Have you seen what he's doing with his life? Look at
Yep.
him, he's the
Yes.
next Steve Jobs, he's the next whoever, right?
True.
And then you realize that that's the actual way to actually making a mark, and like you said, living a life of passion, or pursuing whatever it is, right? And this whole passion thing too, we have made a couple of I have made a couple of videos about passion, and the importance of how you need to discover it, which definitely, obviously there's value in that, right?
Right.
But there's no black and white answer.
Absolutely. I was about to say that. I mean, you have no idea. You may be a doctor, and eventually you can become a rock star. One fine day you get up and you're a rock star. But I think it takes time. But it's very important for you to try different things, because how would you find out? You just feel that, okay, maybe I should take up dancing, maybe I should take up playing guitar or whatever, mountaineering. It can be anything. But trust me, it takes time for you to actually find what is it that really, where your heart lies.
Yeah.
It may take time. It may take years. I mean, I started at 38. I was into dancing, and trust me, I'm very passionate about dancing. I'm very passionate about music. But this is something that is where my heart lies. This is something that really attracted me, and I'm doing so much in this field. So you never know. It may take years, or it may take couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But-
Actually, so I mean, there are people who, and again, this is another thing we've spoken about, which is there are a lot of people who, right from their teenage years, already know what they need to
Yeah,
do and
yeah.
what they need to become.
Right.
And they are again outliers in their own stance for sure.
Yeah.
But that's like literally, like one in a million or one in thousands, right? For most of us, we need to just get our hands dirty and just try things out,
Try
and then
things
over maybe, like you said, it
Yeah.
could be a couple of days,
Yeah.
weeks, it could take you years, but I think that pursuit is what's key. And and
Absolutely.
I think settling is like the saddest thing to do, right?
You have to go after it. Whatever that you want in your life, you have to go after it. It's not going to come to you.
Yeah.
You have to work your ass off to
Yeah.
get the things done.
Yeah,
Right?
so true.
So-
But how did you finally? I mean, you spoke to me about how this came literally out of nowhere.
I know.
Right?
I know. This just happened.
Yeah, but how? Like,
I know people ask me, so how did you start? And I just tell them it was an accident. It just happened. I mean, I had never entered the gym. So I had no idea what happens. All I knew that there's some group classes happen, and I know some equipments are there, and I have no clue whatsoever. What are those equipments, and what do people do there?
Yeah.
But because we were at these food courts, and next to the food court was this huge gym.
Okay.
Fitness First, and we were just having our meal, and I could see the gym, and I could see the people on the treadmill, and I could see this group class happening, and of course it was related to the dance. And that is something that caught my attention, and I just went inside, and I just wanted to see what's happening. And this is in 2012, after my kids at the age of 37.
Okay.
So at the age of 37, I entered the gym, and I liked the group classes, and I thought, okay, let's become a member for 3 months, and I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. Once I became a member, and then the management and the others, they found out that I was into dancing. I was already into Latin dancing, so they knew that I had this background. I was into dancing, and like I said, that in fact at times the instructors would forget their steps, but I would continue. So they actually encouraged me to they pushed me to go ahead and do certification, get myself certified, and that's exactly what I did. I got certified, and I became a Zumba fitness instructor, and then I went ahead and did other certifications as well. I became an instructor with them, and that's how the journey started. So I was more into cardio at that point of time as a group fitness instructor.
Got it.
And later, probably let's say 2-3 months, I got introduced to weight training. I would see people lifting weights. A lot of amazing trainers were there, but they were mostly training people who were like obese. I felt that I could only see people who were like really overweight and wanted some sort of personal training with a trainer to lose weight. I did not see anybody building muscles and in a athletic with an athletic physique. So I joined. I hired a trainer for myself because I knew that I am a lady who's in late 30s. I'm also taking a lot of cardio sessions, and I understand the importance of strength training, especially for women who's in late 30s and somebody who's doing so much of cardio. It's important for you to do some sort of strength training.
Yeah.
So I got myself a trainer, and that was my first experience. The first day was it was like bad. It was really bad. I was screaming, and the next day I was sore. But I absolutely loved the experience, the entire experience. So I just went ahead and I said, okay, I want to do this. Let's start. And let's see what's in what's the best that we can do. I had no idea how I would look. Let's say one month from now, or 2 months from now. I had no idea, no ambitions, no hope, no expectations.
So you didn't have a goal as such?
No goal as such. I just wanted to do strength training because I knew that women should strength train, especially people should strength train once they are or they cross 30, and when you're doing so much of cardio, then you understand, you read, and you because I'm certified also, I understand the importance of strength training. So I said, let's incorporate that. But I had no expectations. But when I realized, when I was hitting everything, I was giving my 100%, whether it came to my nutrition, whether it was training, I was doing everything.
Yeah.
And before I could notice, the others could see the change. They could see that I looked stronger than before. I looked fitter. They could see the abs. They could see the definition. They could see the shoulders. So they would come. They would come to me and they would say that, Sonali, you're looking good. You're looking cool. So that is when I realized, and I said, oh my God, an Indian woman can do it, and somebody who's a mom, somebody who's in late 30s can actually change her body into a physique, and look great, and you can have abs. It's possible, especially women who feel that they have delivered and it's not possible. For somebody who's had a C-section and get abs, it's 100% possible. And then later I read about it, and then I was so curious. And then this competition happened. It just happened. It's just that we found out that something like this is happening in India for the very first time, a physique competition. And I already had abs at that point of time, and I did it in 4 months. Because I was to the point with when it came to my nutrition and my training and everything, cardio, whatever my trainer asked me to do, I did it. And I could see the results in 4 months. So when they said that, okay, you should go and compete, I said, okay, let's try. But I was very nervous. And you know the story, why I was nervous. I was nervous for so many reasons. A, I'm an Indian woman. B, I'm a mother. C, I'm in my late 30s. People are going to judge.
Yeah.
Which they did anyways, but but the fact
they
did, yeah. But my husband, like I said, that he's very supportive.
Yeah.
He and I joined the gym together as members. He was still a member, and I graduated and became an instructor. But this was my passion. I started enjoying the weight training.
Yeah.
So it all started at the age of 37, and at 38 I competed, and I say that's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, this
Yep.
whole judgment
This
thing
is-
is crazy, dude. Because when you were narrating or reciting that incident to me,
Yeah.
and you were talking about how most of the competitors were in their early 20s
Oh
or
my
maybe
God,
even
yes.
teens, right?
Yeah, the youngest was 19 and everybody else was in 20s. So I was very nervous. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I mean, why would they choose me?
Yeah.
Why would they choose me? The only thing that I was very confident about was that I looked good. When it came to physique, there was no one.
Yeah.
But this competition was not just about physique. It had a lot to do with how you can associate with a brand. Can you be a brand ambassador? Can people relate to you? and the sex appeal that you have. It's all of that.
Basically,
So
like
it
you were
had-
saying, like a Miss India
yes,
for fitness.
yes, exactly. So it was 70% physique, and the rest was there.
Personality.
Yeah, the personality.
Yeah, because if you start listening to, like every other, Tom, Dick, and
Yeah,
Harry,
yeah.
and, the kind of opinions they want to pass,
Right.
then it becomes like you won't do anything because you're constantly judging yourself. You're constantly being judged, like you said.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel you are your worst enemy,
So
because
true.
it starts from you.
Yeah.
You just have this thing in your head that people would be against you no matter what. So you don't even want to try.
Yeah.
What will they say? Probably they won't say anything, or probably they would say something for 2 days or 3 days, and then they have something new
But
to
that's
talk
what
about.
they always do.
Yeah, exactly. So you might as well go ahead and do it, because they're going to talk about it anyways, whether you do or you don't do. Oh, she didn't do it. Oh, she did it. So do it.
Both ways, it's the
Yes.
same thing, right?
It's better you go and do it.
I think everyone's like looking for sensational, like I don't know, anything that's trendy or anything that's
Right.
politically incorrect or anything that can, that clickbaity, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So they're waiting to
Yeah.
gossip mentality,
Yeah,
right?
what's
So,
new?
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
talk about this.
Yeah, but like you said, I think if you do everything right, there's obviously going to be still people passing their judgments.
yes. Oh,
So the
yes.
moment you try to kind of be a little put a deaf ear to that
Right.
and then decide to just
Yeah.
do it anyway, I think that's the only way
and
to
this
get
was
started.
this is quite unconventional, and it's
Oh, quite
this
is an
is
understatement.
not traditional at all for a woman to have muscles to compete, and then the kind of attire that you have to wear, and then you have judges, and then 5,000 odd people judging you as well,
Yeah,
along
yeah.
with that, and you yourself are judging
Yeah.
whether I'm doing this. Should I be doing this? Is this for me?
Yeah.
What's going to happen after this once I go back home? I'll be bombarded with all these questions and messages, and I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that,
Yeah.
but I was definitely nervous because they will find out eventually that I'm married,
Yeah.
and I know what's going to happen. And I was saying that the relatives had no clue. I had not told my in-laws. I had not mentioned anything. I had spoken to my parents, but still they did not have a clear picture. What the competition is all about. They would not have understood. Physique competition, what is it? It's a competition. Is what that's what I said. Told my parents.
Yeah.
My in-laws had no idea. So when I won, and when I went back home is when I actually spoke to them, and I said, okay, this is a bodybuilding competition, and like I said, that the kind of attire that you have to wear. So this was my first competition, and I was nervous, and so I chose not to wear a bikini. So you're supposed to wear a bikini,
Okay.
but I said that I will not be comfortable wearing a bikini, so I chose those short shorts and a sports bra.
Okay.
And I just clearly told them that I'm not comfortable, and they were absolutely fine. The judges and the organizers, they were absolutely fine with it. And luckily and fortunately, when my in-laws found out, they were actually very happy. They were very supportive. They were very happy, and the local media, newspapers and channels. I'm from Gwalior, so
Okay.
they found out, and they were talking about my achievements, and they were like very happy. They were very happy. So I realized that how naive and how stupid it was of me to actually just have this preconceived notion that people will hate me, or people will disapprove of whatever that I've done. Yes, there is a section of people. It will always be there.
Yeah.
But as long as you believe in yourself, as long as you know that you're doing the right thing, it's something that you truly enjoy. And then the added bonus that you have your family who's supporting you, you really don't have to give a
Yeah.
damn about what others think.
Yeah, so true.
So-
I think as long as you're happy, everything is
Yes.
sorted, right?
Yeah.
And we spoke about that too at length, which is happy people attract other happy people,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's so true. And I think the moment you are at peace with
Yeah.
what you're doing, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are already, at least you have some sort of clarity where you're heading,
Right,
right?
right.
Automatically, everything else falls into place. right?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you would have seen that sort of shift in your life as well,
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm sure I would have said this, that you can ignore a lot of bullshit that's happening around you because you're happy, you're content. You are in your own zone. You know you're doing something right. You know this is working for you. You're a happy person. You would ignore all the bullshit that's happening. You can handle a lot of negativity because you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that really helps, and that attracts all the good vibes. You feel that people are in general. I would say people are good.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yes.
People are probably,
yes.
they are good. Let's put it there, yeah. But yeah, so that's so true. And that's why I think kids don't have any sort of preconceived notion about anything, right?
Yeah.
They have their creativity has no bounds.
Right.
And there's no racism, there's no discrimination, there's no judging, there's nothing.
Yeah.
They just do what you feel like, and that's that, right?
I know, how beautiful is that?
Exactly. And then
Absolutely.
as they grow up, they expose to society.
Oh my God,
and
the amount of stress that you carry for no reason, I feel, for no reason. And this I realized much later, but I'm so glad that eventually you will realize it in your life. I mean, I'm 46. I'm sure I realized it by the time I was 40, 43.
Okay.
I realized it, and I'm 46 now. So I mean, it's been only few years.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's amazing to understand, to realize it, to get this realization, to reach a point where you feel that it's absolutely fine to be whatever that you want to be.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fine. That you're absolutely fine in your own skin, that it's absolutely fine to do whatever that you want to do. It does not have to be a traditional, conventional 9 to 5 job. It does not have to be that typical homemaker. You can be anything that you want to be, and that age is just a number, and that you can do whatever you want to do past 40. Even if you've crossed your 40s, you can do. People have done amazing things in their 60s and 70s and 80s, right? So I think this guy who got KFC.
I was thinking of Colonel Sanders.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He did that in his late 70s or something like this. So it's age has got nothing. Your gender has got nothing to do with the stuff that you want to do in your life and your success and whatever your achievements. Or
your husband's also literally a walking example, testament to all of this. I'm surprised, like someone who's a senior director at a company. I mean, we just spoke about this literally a couple of minutes ago.
Yes.
But I was on that path too. I was on, doing my regular IT, job.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's an IT guy, being the important term here. And every time, someone associated any sort of job with me back then was always like something tech related, right?
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, he's that
tech
corporate guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy who tucks in his shirt and, goes to meetings.
Right.
And then now, I'm thinking I have taken a sort of a leap at this age, and I keep thinking, if I didn't do this now, where I decided to do exactly the opposite of what I was doing at my desk job, I would never do it later.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, that you have that, that inkling, that feeling, right?
10, 15 years, 20 years, and you feel you want to secure your future. And then you have family, and then you have your kids. And I think it would be very difficult. Probably after 20 years,
and especially after having put in so many years.
Yes, exactly.
So there's that whole sunk cost fallacy or sunk cost bias, right? Where you're constantly, you put in a year, and then you're like, okay, so let me put in another year, and I can get out of it.
I know.
And then by the end of it, you're like,
that never happens.
Because you're 2 years in, and then like, oh my God, I'm 2 years in.
Yeah.
Should I put, all of that should go to waste?
Right.
No, let's not. So let's continue down that path.
Taking a leap it's a big decision.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen. You can be a success, or you can just
Yeah, but
you have no idea. But the thing is, that's the whole point.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. No, but I'm thinking
point.
even his journey as well, right? I'm sure being in that role, and now he's doing exactly something out of his comfort zone, and not even something he was maybe equipped to do earlier. That's crazy as well. I'm sure there's also something that from your journey too that's rubbed off on him, and vice versa. I'm sure
he absolutely enjoys it. he would always accompany me to every competition of mine. He makes sure that I take care of my nutrition, I stay on track. So he has done all of that. In fact, we have to tan our bodies when we are
Yeah, yeah.
competing, right? So he does that for me. He makes
Wow.
sure the costume is there. He gets the appointment for my hair and makeup and everything, because that's also another
different ball
key
game.
thing. Yes. So he does all of that, and he thoroughly enjoys. He loves talking to the other athletes. All these athletes from different countries, we all of us are staying together. It's beautiful. It's amazing. You get to meet like-minded people. We are training together. We are bonding, and he loves that. He absolutely loves it. So I
Yeah.
think that also helped,
Yeah.
because it's something, like I said, both of us joined the gym together.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he's into fitness, but it's not his profession. I made this my profession,
Yeah.
but he enjoys it.
Yeah, but I think
Absolutely.
it goes back to that, happy people attract
Yes.
other happy people, and then,
True.
get them to pursue.
Yeah.
But I think this whole pursuit of, your dream or your passion and all that is very easy for us to talk about. I mean, dude, this whole cliched, like advice and these bumper stickers or these messages you see on Instagram and quotes and all that.
Yeah.
It's all great to read. But
I know.
But
I know.
and gives you that, sometimes it gives you that feeling like, oh my god, I can go and
Yeah.
conquer the world.
Yes.
And then most of the other times you're like, not this again.
I
you
know. And then Monday happens.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But-
Till by Sunday, you're all geared up and you're all charged up, and you say, okay, I'm going to start from tomorrow. And then you have the Monday blues. Yes.
Okay, guys, taking a small break from the conversation to talk about our collaborations and partnerships. So, first and foremost, I'd like to talk about our collaboration with Hubhopper. So, for people who don't know what Hubhopper is, it's a podcast providing platform, a hosting provider platform, where if you don't know where to host your show, or if you're unsure of where to get started with creating audio podcasts, then Hubhopper Studio is the way to go. If you wish to start your own podcast for free, then you can visit hubhopperstudio.com. Hubhopper is one of India's leading podcast creation platform. Start your podcast with Hubhopper Studio and get your voice heard across platforms like Spotify, Gaana, Google Podcasts, Wink Music, and more. Click on the link in the episode description or visit hubhopperstudio.com. I'd like to also take this opportunity to talk about Sennheiser, who is our audio partner for Against the Odds. This is something I thought would not happen at least not so early on in our journey, but I'm glad it's finally happening. So for people who don't know, Sennheiser is obviously one of the leading audio brands and audio providers in the world, from some of the best professional audio equipment like headphones, microphones. In this case, some of the microphones we're using here for our podcast as well. So currently I'm using the MK8 condenser microphone, and I think we have the MK4 as well here. These are two mics, again, at different budget points or different price points, which, again, depending on what your budget's going to be, it's going to fit your use for sure, because the kind of technology that's used in these mics are just incredible. I'm sure you can, hear it yourself right now. So if you want to really take your game up to the next level, or if in case you don't know where to get started with purchasing a microphone, then might I recommend the MK8 or the MK4 from Sennheiser. Also, this episode is recorded and shot at our community partner, location partner, Open Jam Studios. So I'm coming to you from Open Jam Studios, based out of Church Street in Bangalore. So for people who don't know where to get started with creating content, or if in case you don't have the equipment to create content, or maybe you just need a nice professional workspace or studio to get started, then might I recommend Open Jam Studios. I think the process of finding this place itself was a big boon for us. The fact that we took a break during that second wave got us to really rethink our previous studio, and it opened up a whole bunch of array of options when it comes to studios, and well, Open Jam turned out to be the best pick out of the lot. So if you'd like to record your show, come on down here. They've got all the equipment on board, and you just have to come on there, pay for the space, and get going. It's as simple as that. So I'll leave a link to Open Jam Studios website in the description below for anyone who wants to check it out. Cheers. No, but oh man, but I'm looking at what what we spoke about too, which is you're talking about how you just had a protein shake right now in the
Right
gap.
now, yes.
Literally in while we just stopped for a second, you had a protein shake, and you were talking to Apurva, my wife too, who's here, about how it's good that I carry my shake around because I need to have it at so and so time.
Yeah.
And I think like initially it's very tough to like get habituated to that whole
Yeah.
thing, like building a habit
Yes,
itself.
yes.
But yeah, this is great. But at what point did you realize that this is what you want to do for like the next how many ever foreseeable
the
future?
moment I won my first competition, I knew that I could do much better. I did not have much time to prepare for this competition. It's just that I was lean. I was already lean. Like I said, I could see my abs already.
Yeah.
And to compete, you really need a good off season. You really need to build your body. I was lean. I would not say I was great. I would just say that I was better than the others that day. And of course, we had other rounds as well.
Yeah.
So I beat all of them. I was better than them, but I was not great.
Okay. got
Great
it.
enough to compete for the country. So
Got
my
it.
next goal, the moment I won, I knew that I had it in me, and I was loving I was loving the process, and I wanted to see how where I could go from here, from this moment, from that particular moment. So I thought of taking a good off season, 6 to 8 months, really working hard and see what I can do. So that's when I felt that okay, now I want to see that people talk about genes and people talk about genetics, and people say that female from the Western countries or Latinos, they have good genes. That's
Yeah.
why they can build body. Or if you see the African Americans, they have got great physique.
Yeah.
They are runners, sprinters, or even if it's a regular person, you chances are they are in great shape and they have the athletic look, because genetics has got a lot to do with that. So I wanted to see that would it be possible for me to improve from here. I look good.
Yeah.
People are talking about it, and I have won this competition, but can I be better? I'm aging
Yeah.
also, and I'm going to be an year older. I'll be 39.
Yeah.
What can I do? What's the best that I can do? So that's when I started I really started working, and I took this seriously, and I was loving the process, and I was reading and I was learning more about it.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided that I'm absolutely loving it. I
Right.
mean, it's all in your hands. People give excuses, but this, you can't give any excuse. This is all about you.
Yeah.
This is all your work. It's about discipline, it's about consistency, it's about hard work, it's about showing up.
Yeah.
If you can do this, I think you can do anything. You can play any sport, but when it comes to bodybuilding, you are doing this every single day. And it's not just the training, it's the diet and the mindset that you have to have every single day.
Yeah.
You have to hit your goals, whether it comes to your sleep, whether it comes to managing your stress, and you recovering, and then doing all of that all over again
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single day.
Yeah.
So I was absolutely, it was a challenge being a mother, because you have to take care of the kids as well. But I knew that this was giving me so much more in return, because I was already a confident person. The moment I won, the appreciation and everything that helps,
Some
and the fact,
reinforcement,
yes,
right?
yeah, that it's possible for a 38-year-old
Yeah.
woman, and that I have opened the doors for others. And then the brands, of course,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
they were.
We spoke about
yeah,
that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you feel good about it. You feel that all your hard work has paid off.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Yeah,
the people who were saying that a woman should not be lifting weights, for somebody who's saying that it's too late for you, for somebody who's saying that you should not be doing it, of all the people, because you're already quite lean. Why do you want to compete, and why building muscles? What do you want to prove? You already have a man in the family. So
Yeah.
what more do you want? So
Yeah.
these sort of remarks were always there. So once you win and you shut everybody, yeah. So that feels good. And then the fact that you want to see what more can you do? Can you improve from here?
Yeah.
Can you be better than what you have? Can you bring a better package?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the whole point. And once when I won the second, then there was no turning back. Then I said that okay, this is it. I want to represent my country. I want to be called an Indian athlete. I want that flag. I want to wear that jersey. And then the journey started.
That's crazy. And you were a homemaker prior to this?
Yes, so I was a regular homemaker.
Oh my God.
And then I was taking these. Then I became an instructor.
Yeah.
And then I became an athlete.
Wow, what a transition! And I think like I know this whole issue with everyone, like, let's talk about bodybuilding, right? Everyone talks about only how you need to hit the gym,
Right.
and how you need to lift weights, and that's the end all.
Yeah.
But
That's
everything
like
else is
that is just 20%.
Yeah,
to be very
even
honest.
lesser probably.
Yeah, people ask me, so how many hours do you spend the gym? I said it's not about the gym at all. Gym is probably just 20%. I just go there and I focus on quality rather than the quantity, the amount of time that I'm spending there. I just probably spend maximum 1 hour, get quality workout done, but it's the rest. The 23 hours, what am I doing? Am I getting good sleep, quality sleep? Am I able to manage my stress levels, keep my hormones in check? Am I able to, get my nutrition on track? Am I doing all of that? That's more important. And the mindset that you have to do this every single day. People would say that, okay, you're having the same chicken breast and the same rice and the same amount of veggies, the same kind of veggies every single day. Isn't it boring? I don't find it boring now because I have a goal,
Yeah.
right? So it's not boring for me. It may seem boring to you, but it's absolutely not boring for me because this has become my lifestyle.
Right.
And this has given me a lot, and I know what I'm doing. I'm fueling my body the way it should be fueled because I have a purpose and I have a goal. So it's not at all boring for me. People worry. Oh my God, this is what you're going to eat. I am happy. Seriously, I'm happy having that grilled chicken. But people also feel that I don't indulge. That's just an assumption. I thoroughly enjoy my meals, the regular meals, because they are not boring for me. So I don't crave that much for biryani. But there are days when I absolutely go berserk and I have my biryani, and I was telling Apurva that I love Death by Chocolate. But there is a time and a place for that. It's not that I don't indulge.
Yeah.
When I'm not competing, I go little lenient. So
Right.
I don't like completely have to keep my macros in check and have to count my calories. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But when I have a goal and a purpose, like any athlete in the world,
Yeah.
when you have a goal, they train for 7 hours and 8 hours,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To win that medal and
Yeah.
to be there. I get just 1 minute on that stage. So I my all the 12 months I prepare every single day, 366 days, keeping that 1 minute
Yeah,
in
no,
mind.
so this actually reminds me of that. Just of Usain Bolt, right? The number of hours the guys
Hours.
put
I
in,
know.
like
7 to
work-
8 hours is what
and
I've
more than
earned.
that, recovery to
Yes.
everything, right? You have to
Oh
balance
my
that bit
God,
out, right?
it's a lot of work.
For
But
what?
it's the mindset.
For
that
literally
one
10 seconds.
Yes. For that one run, 10 seconds. Yes. World record.
My God! So when I think
It's
about
amazing.
and so that's the thing, right? So when it's very easy for people to pick up the flashy side of things.
Right.
And you're like, this person's got great abs.
Yeah.
It's got nice
Great abs and endorsements. They see all of that. You've got the likes and the followers and the blue tick. They see all of that, but they have not seen where did I start from, and what do I do every single day. People still ask me, so how to lose fat? I said all my posts are about that. All my stories are about that, but they do not want to see that. They
They
don't.
want it-
They don't want to see that I get up at 4:30 every single day without
So that
fail.
should
It's
give
been
an
8
easy
years
answer,
now.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what I. So when people ask me, okay, so tell me what to do, I said this should give you an idea what I'm doing. Have I ever missed my training? Never. I every single day I'm posting about my session. Have you ever seen me lifting light weights? No. You always see me lifting heavy weights. And I always talk about how and why you should be eating right, why you should be you should be focusing on your micronutrients, your vitamins and your minerals, why you should be physically active, why it is even more important for somebody who is in late 30s or 40s to be lifting and or doing some sort of strength training. Why? I mean, this should give you an
Fair-
idea,
a fair idea, yeah.
of what I am doing every single day or on a regular basis,
Yeah.
consistently. This is what I've been doing.
Yeah. No, because the other part of it, right? Like it's easy for us to want to become a footballer,
Yeah.
or a cricketer, or whatever, right?
But then what goes behind
Yeah.
it?
And that when you're a kid, right? You're also constantly looking at wanting to become, like make a mark.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and even a
Yeah.
name for yourself. So you want to be maybe the opening batsman, or you want to be the guy who scores the winning World
Yeah.
Cup goal, whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? And your work, you when you start working towards it, is when you realize that everything else that goes around it is as equally as tough,
Yeah.
if not tougher.
Yeah.
And people who kind of keep at it even past that point are the ones who actually make it.
Right.
And even with you, right, you spoke about, I think, this incident where you were down with dengue, or
Yeah, that
and
was
you were looking forward to your
a
entire
month prior to my Asian Championship in 2017, and I was in bloody great shape because 2016 I had won bronze.
Okay.
So I was very confident that I was going to be in top 3 because I was so good, much better than 2016.
Okay.
I went for my Indian team selection and I was killing it. I was looking so good. Everybody had high hopes, and I was super confident. And I got back from there and I had dengue. And I was in ICU for 10 days, in the hospital for altogether 2 weeks. I lost some 12 kgs. You can hardly eat. Forget about having protein or any food. You are surviving on khichdi basically.
Yeah.
That's all that you can have. So when I got back home, I was like crying and I was depressed. My tickets were already booked because you
Yeah.
have to register well in advance. So everything is done, and I'm like, I'm just crying because I don't know how to start from here because I've got only 4 weeks. So what to do? That was very disheartening. But then he said that just go. Let's just go and see. If you feel you feel like you feel that you can step on the stage, do that. I said I don't want to step on the stage if I'm not better than last time. You know, what's the point? I don't want to do that. But then he convinced me that you're not all that bad. Just give yourself some time, and there's a lot of inflammation in your body
Yeah.
when you're recovering. Whether it's dengue or even viral fever or normal fever, there is a lot of inflammation in the body, and it really backfires. So the more you're going to train, the more it's going to backfire. So you have to deal with it very smartly. So you don't have to stress. That's the first thing that you should not be doing, is stressing over it. So there are a lot of things.
And that's the exact opposite of what we
Yeah, because you have 4 weeks. What are you going to do? Because now it all comes down to your nutrition.
Right.
And like I had mentioned and I had shared with you, that you have to go off your carbs, and then you have to go off your salt, and then you have to go off water as well,
Water as well.
which is not easy anyways. But then he convinced me. He said, okay, let's go and just do it. Just have fun.
Right.
We'll go to Seoul. We'll have fun. We'll roam around Korea dekhenge.
Yeah.
So then I
At least
said, okay, fine.
that's great. That's a brilliant place to be.
So
Yeah.
I gave myself another 1 week, and then the next 3 weeks I trained smartly, and I focused on my nutrition more than anything else. And we went there, and I was placed 6th.
Oh,
That
wow.
wasn't bad. Coming from
Yeah.
recovering from dengue and all of that, it wasn't bad at all, and everybody appreciated. Everybody understood the fact that the Indian team and everybody else. So it was good. But then I said that I have to take a break. I have to take a break, and I had to take a break for a lot of other reasons as well. My daughter was in 10th and a lot of other stuff. And then I wanted to compete in 2020 last year. But then this happened, and then this happened. But I'm preparing now. So
Right. But
because I want to compete.
I think
want to
that, but the pursuit doesn't end because you're still at it,
Yes.
right?
Oh, absolutely. That's not happening. Because
Oh.
it gives you a purpose, it gives you a goal, and this is something that I enjoy anyways.
Right.
So-
No, but oh man, when you explained that story to me that day, right? I was just thinking, I'm freaking out about a silly thing here, right? And silly or not, whatever. But at the end of the day, when you're going and literally putting yourself out there
Yeah.
and on a
Yeah.
stage, and especially knowing that you have spent so much
So,
time and effort
yes.
into this, right?
I know.
It is definitely a challenge, and I think if you've won the battle in your mind, you're pretty
Yeah.
much won the entire
I'm
thing.
so glad that he was able to convince me, because I literally I was in tears. I was completely shattered because I didn't feel that I was good enough. Especially as an athlete representing your country, you want to be the best.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I mean, I like what he said, that it makes sense for me to get up on that podium only if I'm better than
Yes,
last year.
yeah,
Right?
yes,
That makes a lot of
exactly,
sense.
exactly.
And that's another thing I think a lot of people lose out on, which is this whole, even if you're a 0.1% better than yourself, than yesterday, that's a big, big
That's
win.
a big win.
But no one considers
A
it
lot
that
of
way,
people
right?
don't even realize it when I get questions like, okay, but I'm not able to lift more. I've been lifting for 2 months, but I'm not able to lift more. I said, but what about the recovery? Are you recovering better? Are you sleeping better? Are you eating better? Are you feeling better?
That's
Is
feeling
that,
better, yeah.
that speaks a lot. That tells you a lot, that you are not where you used to be, that you have progressed. But people just see the numbers. They want to see the numbers.
Yeah, like if you go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
I'll give a simple example, which I'm sure you and everyone who follows you as well will be able to relate to. You go to a gym, and if you have decided to only work out with one piece of equipment, you still feel like shit at the
Yeah.
end of the day, because there's so many pieces
So,
of equipment and you
yes.
haven't touched any of them.
Right.
But let's say you even come down, stretched your body with a yoga mat.
Yeah.
You're like, I haven't even used the treadmill.
Yes.
I haven't cycled. I
Yeah.
haven't done anything.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
But you've actually stretched for 40 minutes. That's a huge
Absolutely.
thing, right?
Yes.
But we don't
Yeah.
give ourselves credit for that, which is
Yeah.
so sad.
That's why people come up with these excuses that I have 15 minutes. What am I gonna do in 15 minutes? I said there is so much that you can do in 15 minutes, and just imagine, calculate 15 minutes for the next 366 days.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You can actually transform your body in
Yeah.
just 15 minutes. So don't say just 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a lot.
Yeah,
This is just an excuse
like
that I've
this-
got 10 minutes. Kya hoga?
Exactly. 15 minutes into 360 days
Yeah.
is still far more than zero.
Zero.
Which you would
Right.
have done, last
Yes.
year.
People don't want to take that first step.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Oh my God. And I heard this somewhere where and like with you getting into the habit of going to the gym or working out or just staying fit or even walking for that matter, unless you do it all 7 days of the week,
Yeah.
it's like what's the point of doing it, right?
Thing is, who says consistency is about doing it 366 days a week? Most of the time, if you're doing it, you're consistent enough. Let's say if you're doing it 60% of the time, that is pretty good. And gradually add. And once you start seeing the results, it motivates you to do little more better. Right.
Maybe for your lifestyle, 60% is good.
Yeah, exactly. See, and I again, it's the comparison. If she is getting up at 4:30, do I have to get up? You don't have to get up at 4:30. Do what works for you, but try to improve
Yeah.
every single day. Don't just come up with an excuse that Ash, I've got only 10 minutes, so it's not worth it. Let's not do it. 10 minutes is good enough to do something.
Dude, every
Better
morning,
than doing nothing.
I so agree. But even I face these I'm sure you as well would, have these, weird mind blocks as to should I do, 10 minutes
Yeah.
now. Every day morning I wake up, I'm like today too, I changed into my, I have this walking, whatever, like clothes. Okay. So I was like, I'll go for a walk, or at least I'll stretch out for 10-15 minutes because I'm a little sore from playing.
Okay.
And I decided to do that, but I got out. I just got in. Just entered my living room, and I'm like, 10 minutes, what will I really gain? Right? Like, is this really worth it? And then I just walked around on my phone, and that's it. And just came
I
back.
know. You won't even realize it, right? You're speaking to someone in 40 minutes. Just like that. You got your steps. I'm sure some 4,000, 5,000 steps, which it's good. It's
it
pretty
works
good.
that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. And
But the thing is, you do have to understand, and let's just accept it. Every day is not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. There will be days when you won't feel 100%. I have my days where I can just barely give 40%. And there are days when I'm just crushing it.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely normal, and this is bound to happen.
But how do you get
It's
past
okay.
that? Because if you think about like the main reason people give up is because they they go through maybe a streak of maybe a couple of 40%, like a couple of days of 40%. And then they're like, shit, this is just not working for me.
Yeah.
And then they decide, maybe Sonali can do it. I can't do it. Screw this.
That the a lot of people have this issue is because most of us are impatient. We just want everything like this. So I trained today. I'm sure I would should have. I mean, let me just weigh myself. Step on the scale and see. Oh, nothing happened. Probably I may have
More.
gained. Yeah, because again, you don't understand the science behind. If you're lifting heavy, the chances are you're going to weigh more because your body is going to retain bit of water. If you had let's say some Chinese food, the chances are you're going to weigh more the next day because the Chinese food contains a lot of sodium.
Yeah.
So again, you're
Salt
going to
and
retain
water,
water. So people don't understand that. But the thing is, most of us are impatient, and especially somebody who's struggling with weight and has weight issues and have tried everything. I completely understand where you're coming from. For you, every day is like a challenge, and you really want the results. And nothing is working for you, probably 99% of the time. The thing is that you think that you're doing everything, but that's not the case. Lot of people think or feel that they are doing everything, but that is not the case. So when I ask them, are you what's the intensity? Oh, I train well, I spend 45 minutes, I spend an hour, but they are absolutely clueless. They are just doing some random stuff.
Quality. No
They
quality.
don't understand the structure. There's no structure, there is no plan, they have no idea. Just because you're reducing the calories does not mean that you're eating right. Your body needs macronutrients and micronutrients. If you're depriving your body of certain things, it's not gonna work for you. So a lot of people don't understand that. They just think that just because they spent an hour,
Yeah.
they should be getting the results.
Yeah. I
But
mean-
you're doing random things. Kahin pe jaake they'll do this. A lot of women do this. Yeah, the side bends. Then they'll sit on that and adductor, abductor because they're easiest. They always go for the easiest. Have you seen people going there and squatting or doing whatever, pullovers, pull-ups, push-ups? No, they will go for the easy stuff. They'll hold this and they'll do this. They'll run, they'll walk, they'll do couple of Zumba moves as well. Wahan pe bhi they're not pushing themselves, right? So if you don't have a trainer, the chances are most of them would go and do some random stuff which has absolutely no structure, and then you're not getting the results. And you're impatient.
Yeah.
Because each body is different.
Yeah. No, what you said earlier too is the same thing, right? You were actually posting consistently
Yes.
about nutrition
Yeah.
or working out
Yeah.
and everything, but still they come up to you and say, "How
Yeah.
can I do this? Tell me."
You would never see me posting the side bends. You will never, because that is not going to help you. That is not going to give you that waist that you want.
Yeah.
If you really want that narrow waist, it's all about the nutrition and the lifting that you're doing.
Yeah.
The crunches are not going to give you the abs. It's again the nutrition
Yeah.
and the kind of workout that you're doing. You really don't have to go for 1,000 crunches or 100 crunches and leg raises to get those abs. Seriously, but
Yeah.
people don't understand.
No, everyone's looking for an easy, quick solution, right?
Yeah.
Like
How
you
to
said-
get abs? Can you give me one the best exercise for abs? Yeah, there is no best exercise for abs.
I like how you said how to get abs.
How to get abs? Yes.
It's like a Google search.
Oh my God. Seriously, yeah. What is the best diet for abs and how to get abs, or fat loss diet?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's the most
Yeah.
common
Yeah.
question. Yeah. People want to lose fat or people want to have those six packs. But they are not ready to understand
Yeah.
what's needed and what needs to be done, and it's all about consistency, and it has got a lot to do with patience as well.
Yeah.
Patience, very important.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've taken 8 years, and at 46 it's really not easy to maintain this kind of physique. So it's a work. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort, not just one day or twice in a week, every single day. Even the days you're not working, it's an off day, you are still focusing on your nutrition. You're still making sure that you're sleeping on time.
Active recovery and
Yes,
everything, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
You rest, but you don't want to mess up your entire routine. You don't want to do that. So even when I'm traveling, it's not like I'm not having a good time. I'm having a good time. I take it easy, but I don't have to completely ruin my work, all the hard work. You can absolutely enjoy your life, you can absolutely create that balance, especially for somebody who's not competing. I'm telling you, it's not rocket science to achieve a good body, or or to be in great shape, or have good health. It's really not rocket science. You just have to create that balance. You don't have to take any extreme measures to do that. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. You really don't have to be on the so-called boring food all your life. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, yeah. My God, this. I think this whole quick answers, or just being having the impatient mentality is just it's so prevalent in our society these days, right? Everyone wants
Once. Yeah.
whatever they want right
Right
now.
now.
And that, I think that's just how things have evolved, right? Right now, earlier, what if you needed to order food, you needed to find the number first of
Yeah.
all through maybe Get It or Yellow
Or you
Pages.
would go and get it packed and
Exactly.
bring
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And then there's like, obviously, there's like a proper process to this whole
Yeah.
thing, which has become so, like so easy.
Yep.
And literally available at your
Yeah.
fingertips
Oh my God, yes.
with Amazon and everything, right? I'm just thinking, you can't correlate
Yeah.
that to,
Yeah.
getting something else, which
Yeah, you
actually
can't just
takes.
press the button and said, okay, abs loading. You get that on t-shirts and the beams, but
Yeah.
in real life, that's gonna take time.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. And I think, yeah, the moment you realize that the important things are the ones that take time,
Take time. Absolutely.
I
That's
think
so
that
true.
and that's when you win
Yes.
at life, because you
All
know
good
you're kind of
things
working
take
towards
time,
that.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And once you kind of have that clarity, then everything else kind of falls into
Right.
place.
And
right?
also the fact that you have to understand that this is you don't want this to be a fat thing. You want it to be your lifestyle. For somebody who really wants to be in great shape,
Yeah.
you have to make it a lifestyle. So you don't want to do this. Oh, I'm getting married and I want to look good. That's
can't
okay.
just have a small
that's not
phase is
bad.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. That is your goal, which is good. But then I'm sure you would want to, once you get married, then what? Then have another goal. I
Yeah.
think that would really help you.
Yeah.
Have short-term goals. It's fine. You have an engagement, you have a shoot to attend, or you want to look good in certain dress, or you like a dress, but you don't think that you would be comfortable wearing it now. You want to lose 3 kgs. That's a great way to start.
Yeah.
But then keep changing your goals. It's important. You need to change your goal. Once you reach that goal, now what's next? So that you can be better. Okay, you lost weight. Now let's think about building muscle.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about creating a little bit of habit-related content. So about how how our mind works and all of that. So there are these stupid questions online. I want to say stupid because when the answer that I had in mind is how long does it take for you to instill a habit? Some people say 21 days. There's research that says 30 days.
Right.
And there's research that says 66 days.
Yeah.
But the answer is that you need to always keep doing it. Then
Yes.
that's when it's a habit.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you just stop doing it, then it's not a
Yeah.
habit anymore, right?
I mean, you say, okay, fine, 21 days, may okay, fine. Then it's going to automatically, it'll just happen. No, it won't happen.
This was like how we're waiting for 2021, right? Like 2021, COVID
Yes,
gone, let's go
gone,
and party,
yes.
and now we are going to
Yes.
2022 and we still don't know.
The thing is, you have to show up. Whether you like it or not, you show up, and eventually and gradually it'll become part of your life.
Yeah, yeah, so true. But I think, Sonal, this is great. I think this is a good place to wrap things up. I think we spoke about a lot of things. We went through a lot of issues. But yeah, so if there's one last message, which is something I ask of all my guests as well. There's one last message that you'd like to put out there for our audience, for
Oh my
your
God.
viewers, what would it be?
It's never too late. So all of you guys who really think that it's too late for you, oh, I wish I had done it when I was 18, or I wish I had done it when I was 24. Now it's too late. My God, I started at 37. Come on. So it's not too late. It's never too late. You, whatever that you want to do, whatever dream that you have, just go for it. Don't think about what others would say. Don't give a shit. If it makes you happy, go ahead and do it. Yep,
Dude,
it.
that's perfect. No one could have said it better than you, and that's perfect, Sonali. So, and if we have to send people online, where can we send them?
Sonali Swami 005 at Gmail. That's my mail ID. And if you want to check my Instagram account, it's Sonali_Swami.
Perfect. Awesome, Sonali. Thank you so much for making this happen.
Thank you.
And like I tell all my guests, once we hit a mark, we'll have you back here to talk about more of your experiences,
Oh,
more
I
of your
would love
instances.
that. I would love that. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so
Akash.
much. Thank you so
you.
much. So yeah, that's it for the first episode with a guest in our new studio. How do you like it? So here's some inside information for you. Since this was the first episode we shot here, we had some serious issues when it came to the equipment in terms of the interface and just, a lot of background noise, and the equipment kept malfunctioning. And to me, being an overthinker, I was just losing it. And I was freaking out. We had to literally stop the recording a couple of times. We had to even change the laptop I was using. We had to change the interface. We had to figure out a whole bunch of things. But Sonali was a gem of a person and super patient to put up with all of these issues and malfunctions. So thank you, Sonali, if you're listening or watching. And if you're still watching this episode or you're listening to it on audio as well, maybe hit the like button if there is one. I mean, if you're watching till now and you haven't hit the like button, then dude, what's happening? Why are you here? It's like literally an hour of a conversation and you're still here and you haven't hit the like button. So yeah, hit the like button and subscribe too if you haven't. Also leave us a comment below on which part of the conversation really stood out for you and which really struck a chord with you. Also, if you'd like to support the show, there's a simple thing you can do. You can just head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and review. These ratings and reviews help get the word out there and helps with the algorithm as well. So in terms of discoverability, the show gets in front of more people. And well, I'd like to spread the value and spread the positive messages that we've been trying to send out in these conversations. So yeah, you can make that happen by simply leaving a rating and review. It'll only take you about 10-15 seconds, but it goes a long, long way. And then finally, did you know that I have a newsletter? Well, I do. So I've been publishing quite frequently, I'd say. It's a bi-weekly newsletter where I share short write-ups about the important things in life and also kind of talk a little bit about my creation journey, my current situation, and how maybe you guys can use some of that to take your life to the next level, or even just get to acting on whatever it is that you've been holding off on. So yeah, if you'd like to subscribe to my newsletter, then head on down to my website at akashdamodan.com and hit that subscribe button. Cool then. I guess that's pretty much it. Next episode, we have Jishnu Dasgupta from Swaratma. I'm sure you know Swaratma, the band. So yeah, we have Jishnu here and we talk about a whole bunch of things. I can't wait to share that with you. But until then, ciao.